Okay, everybody, Muhammad again with rightsoffathers.com, here to help all the single fathers get their kids back. Of course, I just made a long video, and of course, didn't check on the sound, and now I'm going to have to make another one. I haven't made videos in a while, so I forgot to do sound checks and all this bullshit, and now I'm gonna have to remake a new one to help you guys out. This video is about getting your child back without a lawyer. I'm gonna have to remember everything that I already talked about. Oh gosh. All right. Let me see. What was I talking about? So the first thing is, I know a lot of people are wondering, why would I say something so outrageous? This video is really not I'm not gonna get too deep into why I believe you shouldn't get a lawyer, but I'm just gonna give you my suggestions on how to represent yourself to get your kid back without having a lawyer. And then if you guys want, you can email me, or you can leave a comment down below, and I can tell you some of the reasons on why I don't think you should have a lawyer. But this video is more specifically about getting your kid back without a lawyer. Okay, so there's a difference. All right. Okay, now let's talk about this. All right, so how do you get your kid back without a lawyer? Easy. First thing is, obviously, don't retain a lawyer. It sounds obvious, right? And then the second thing is, if you have a lawyer, fire that sucker, because they're not gonna help you. All they're gonna do is just drain your resources, and at best, if you're lucky, somebody that's good and has some kind of a moral compass, they may settle something, at least with some terms that you agree with. But that's the best that you can do. Now, the reason I'm suggesting that you don't have a lawyer is because you actually have all the rights in the world. But the second you sign up with an attorney, or you retain an attorney, they're gonna file, a notice of appearance, and once that's done, you're done. It's over. Now it's totally in their hands what happens, And in my experience, when you leave something in somebody else's hands, you never get the outcome of what you want. You may get some things here and there, but it's never gonna be everything that you want. So it really doesn't make any sense for you to have a lawyer. The only reason you will have a lawyer is if you are completely ignorant, like you don't even know how to read, Even in that scenario, I still wouldn't get a lawyer, because all the power is still in your hands. The only way that you're gonna get an unfavorable outcome is if you that's, of course, if you don't have a lawyer, is if you let fear consume you. That's the only way that's going to happen. And that's a lot of times what happens to a lot of people. A lot of people get a lawyer because they want to do things a safe way, because they've been told on TV, and every time you go to court for any reason, they're like, oh, just get an attorney, get a lawyer. The only reason they want you to get an attorney because you're going to be so easily controlled. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's literally going to be like an alley-oop if you get a lawyer for them to destroy your life. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to give them the consent to be able to destroy your life. But if you don't give them that consent, they're not going to be able to do it unless you agree to it, unless somehow they get you to acquiesce, or somehow get you to fall into dishonor. That's the only way that they can destroy your life, is if you basically voluntarily give it up. So why would you get a lawyer? Just because it's comfortable, it's easy. You know, you don't have to speak. You don't want to speak in court because you're scared. So you got to man up, you know, as a father. You got to take responsibility into your own hands. So you're going to have to, you know, crack open a law book. You know what I'm saying? Like what? Okay. Well, what's the first thing that I'll recommend? First thing I'll recommend is you study the Constitution. And when I say study, I mean like you actually gotta read it like multiple times, and you gotta look up words that you don't understand. And then the second thing is you need to study the state constitution that your case is under. All the state constitutions, they're pretty much the same. It may be worded a little bit differently, but they all have the same elements, which is that you're free, motherfucker. You're free. And you have all the rights and all the powers in your hands unless you go there and voluntarily give it up. And one of the first ways that you give it up is by retaining an attorney. And sometimes, depend how you file certain paperwork. Also, you can give up your rights. And but the main thing is when you sign up for an attorney, when you retain an attorney, that's the major way that you give up all of your rights. You know, the reason why you don't want to deal with an attorney is because you're already handicapped. You're a man, so by just virtue of that, the odds are already against you. So whatever leverage that you can gain, is only going to help you. So if you follow, you know, all the normal things that society do, it's only just going to feed you to the slaughter. All these little things that they have, like sign, you know, get a lawyer and all this, it's just to make their decision easier, you know. So when you get a lawyer, you're literally going to give the judge so much latitude and how he's going to be able to rule, because he has consent, he has your consent, so he can do whatever he wants and he can get away with it because there's nothing you can do about it because you agree to it. But when you don't have a lawyer, you're gaining a little bit of leverage. I mean, it ain't like, you know, enough for you to get your kid back, but at least you're gonna get the momentum. You know, you're gonna gain more leverage as you learn more and you apply that knowledge into your case. Now, these judges, they are so freaking smart. Like, man, they're smart. I mean, to a point where, you know, they're like esoteric smart, you know, like beyond just normal smart. They're smart, like, to know, like, how to read your body language. They know human psychology. They know how to set traps and you know, they know just based on how you act and how you dress, they know where you're at in terms of knowledge and consciousness. So they know how to push certain buttons to get you to fall into dishonor. Because when you don't have a lawyer and you represent yourself, you have all the rights. So the only way they can get you is by you getting yourself. And they know how to push certain buttons to get you to fall into dishonor. And that's the only way that they're going to gain back their competitive advantage over you, and to be able to you know, whether it's to, normally what they want to do is to steal your property, you know, that's all they're trying to do. So when you have a lawyer, you basically made it so easy for them to get your kid, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna, you know, automatically just get a guardian ad litem, you know what I'm saying? And then they're gonna start sending letters between lawyers and just racking up your bill, you know? And before you know it, you lost your kid, your bank account, your house, your job, your family, your friends, because, you know, when you're going through such turmoil, nobody's going to want to be around you. You're going to be a mess. You're going to be depressed. You're going to be, you know, constantly like on the edge, you know, looking for help, looking for money, and nobody's going to want to be around you, you know? People only want to be around you when things are going good in your life, you know? When you're going through like a nasty child custody case, nobody's gonna help you. They're all gonna have sympathy for the mother, you know, but they're not gonna have sympathy for the father. In fact, you don't even exist. Nobody even cares about you. They're not even thinking about you. They're literally not thinking about you. They already mark you as like, you know, you're done. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you know, the real victim in all this scenario is the kid. The kid's gonna be the one that's hurting the most. The kid, you know, sometimes it's not gonna be obvious. You know, sometimes it may take like years before the damage is fully done. Like, you know, when they rip you out of the kid's life, and the mom is like, you know, on the streets and running through a lot of dudes, and the kid has to be, you know, the witness to all that. That's when the damage is going to be really done, you know. And they have some random dude like, you know, disciplining your kid, and some random dude on the street has more rights to your kid than you. He can take your kid to school and pick him up from lunch, and, you know, slap him up if he's like, you know, not acting like they want. And there's nothing you can do about it, you know. It's your own kid, but some random dude on the street has more rights than your kid. And this is the kind of power these courts are going to give the mother when you are not on your P's and Q's, when you're out here slipping, and you're out here like signing up for lawyers and trying to play the game like the way they do. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to totally switch up. Like, you have to like literally do the unexpected. You can't do what the average person does. Like, it's like literally a slaughterhouse. Like, every day there's like lines of people just run through the slaughterhouse, man. So when you come in with a different approach, it's gonna like totally throw them off, you know. The judge is actually gonna have to like actually think, you know. He's gonna actually have to like, you know, figure out how to manipulate you, and you know. So the main thing that you need to know is that anything involving family court is private. It's not public. It's not like, you know, a criminal case. It's totally private. So anything that they do, it's impossible to prove. So the only way that, like, so basically all the leverage, the whole leverage and power and everything it's all in their hands. But whatever that they're going to do, they're going to need your consent. So that's where all these things that I'm telling you about comes into play, not having a lawyer. And knowing the difference between public and private. I'm going to have to make a video about that and teach you guys the difference between public and private. Nobody, like most people don't have no clue what's going on. Like, they don't know the difference between public and private, you know. And when you understand that difference, that's going to be major, because you're going to know that the judge's not going to be able to handcuff you, meaning when you go to court, he's going to throw all these curveballs at you. And if you really understand the difference between public and private, you're not going to be able to, he's not going to be able to get you to fall into dishonor. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I remember, like, you know, when I was going to court, you know, the judge that I was dealing with, you know, he's so corrupt. Like the only competitive edge that he has against me at first was because I didn't have a lot of experience. So all, like, my paperwork, everything will be perfect. But the only way he could get me is he will like throw some weird curveball at me in court, and then, like, because I've never been in that scenario, I don't know like how to properly respond, and then that's how he will get me. It's to fall into dishonor, and that's the only way. That's the only leverage they have against me right now. You know, it's just, or not anymore, but when I was learning, you know. So when you stay on your private side, which is where all your power is, now the only advantage they're gonna have against you is their experience, and they're gonna try and, like, you know, try and get you to stumble, throw curveballs at you to like fall into dishonor. like when I really, like when I was just starting to learn this, like I remember at my like one of the hearings that I was at, the judge that I was dealing with, bitch ass Walsh, um, like okay, so I did everything right, filed all this paperwork, I was kicking their ass, and then when the judge, like he realized like what's really like I was different, and then what he did was he's smart. I mean, the dude is smart. I give him that. And what he did was, like, what he would do is he would intimidate me. Like, he will have like 20 sheriffs surrounding me. Like, I mean, like side by, like right next to me. Like, if I even flinch or breathe the wrong way, they're ready to just rip my head off. Like they're just surrounding me. They'll have sheriffs surrounding me. They'll have sheriffs posted outside the court so in case I try to run or something. Like, and then and then the judge, like everything I did that he'd be like, if you do that one more time, I'm gonna put you in contempt. And because I was prepared and I know how to deal with those situations, I'll be like, well, will that be civil or criminal? You know what I'm saying? And when he realized that I knew what's going on, that's when the judge started stopped pulling me through the ringer. They're gonna test you. They're gonna they're gonna test you. They're gonna make sure that they know where you're at, and then they're gonna deal with you based on where you're at. Like when I kept upgrading my knowledge, to the point where they couldn't use like the law against me anymore. They couldn't use their statutes or any of their bullshit procedures. Then they started doing like esoteric things, like weird things where like, oh man, I don't even know if I should talk about this on YouTube, because I don't know, how deep this motherfuckers go, But as I get more comfortable, I'll start releasing all the bullshit that they did, so I can prepare and teach fathers and single fathers on how deep this rabbit hole goes. I mean, it goes deep, man. Like I'm telling you, it goes deep. Like these people, I honestly. I honestly don't even know if some of them are humans. Like, it's possible. Like, I don't know if they're like artificial beings or they don't have a soul, but I don't know, man. Like, that, like some of the things that they do, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, like, wow, is this guy actually a human being? Like, does he actually have a soul that's connected to a heart, or like, I don't know, but that's a whole nother discussion, what else is important, man? Oh gosh, I feel like my first video was way better. This one is more like all over the place, and I'm trying to remember all the things that I said, but I'm just trying to cover all the important basics, for future fathers or for current fathers that are going through it, to help them. So I'm trying to say all the important things that you need to know. You may not watch the whole video, but just the important things that you need to be aware of. Yeah. So how do you actually win? I think I briefly talked about that in the first video. The most important thing is if you don't know what's gonna happen in the hearing before let's say you just got a letter from the court and they're like, you have a hearing next week. If you don't know what the outcome is going to be, you're going to lose, because they're way too sophisticated. They got way too many curveballs, and like they'll do some bogus shit. You're going to lose. You're going to have to win before you step into court, and the only way you're going to do that is you're going to have to serve them paperwork before you step into court. And then when you come to court, you're going to present that paperwork. If you talk about anything outside of that paperwork, you're going to lose, because they're going to get you to stumble. They're going to get you into recontract or to fall into dishonor or some sort of way to get you off your base. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I'm going to make a video teaching you guys, like, okay, how to put together paperwork. What do you actually send, How do you file a proper motion? as time goes on, I'm gonna make all these videos, and I'm actually gonna create like a PDF section where I'm gonna upload some paperwork that I've filed, some paperwork that I've learned from, so fathers can learn from that. Another major important thing is the first most important thing that I forgot to mention is your mind's got to be right, because like the kind of people that you're gonna deal with, they're more advanced than you. So if your mind is not right, you're gonna be finished. They're gonna destroy you. Your mind's got to be right. You got to be strong mentally, physically. So that means you got to eat right. You got to sleep. You got to exercise. You got to lean on your spiritual faith, whatever that is. If you're religious, if you're a Muslim, you got to pray every day. If you're a Christian, you got to make sure you're going to church, reading your Bible. You got to you need certain protocols, because these people, all they're going to do is once they get you off your base, which is, they're going to get you to fall asleep, which is like, to get you to your subconscious. They don't want your subconscious mind to work. They want to have you totally just thinking like in a linear fashion, where you're not, and then they're going to have the whole fear factor, so you're not going to be rational, and you want both your left and right brain to be working both in accord here, and otherwise you need your subconscious mind, because you're gonna need to be creative in like how to, because when they throw that curveball, you're gonna need creativity to maneuver around that. And then there's going to be times when you need to be linear and technical. You're going to, when you're stating the facts, and you're going to, so like, if you don't have like a protocol to get yourself grounded and stay grounded, they're going to destroy you. So it's, for a man, it's unacceptable anywhere in 2022. And you're a father, you got no excuse. You got to be in shape. You got to be mentally strong. So meaning, if you're not religious, you better be meditating. You know what I'm saying? And then your finances got to be right. It's not even an excuse for you to be a father and be broke. You know what I'm saying? So when you have like all these things, and then that's when you start cracking open the law books. Start reading all the rules of procedure. Start with this, like I said, the Constitution of the United States, and then read the state constitution, and then you gotta read the local rules of the court. Each court have their own local rules. For the most part, it's all pretty much uniform, but every state, every county or whatever has their own little weird like nuance, so you need to be aware of that. I remember I actually lost a case simply because I didn't read the local rules. Like I remember it was like, I can't remember like at what stage of the proceeding was, but I filed some motions, I think for like summary judgment, and to like dismiss some other things. And I remember just receiving like a 1-page letter from a judge with literally like 2 lines. And the only reason I lost was because I didn't follow the rules for that, the court rules, which is like, your motion can't be more than 13 pages. And I think mine was like 50. Obviously I was going off on them. I was calling them, the whatever they are, and just because of that I lost. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, how dumb is that, right? Just because I didn't know it can't exceed 13 pages. And sure enough, when I went to the actual website for that county, she was right. It was literally like explicitly and bolded, like each motion cannot exceed 13 pages, right? but you know what her excuse was? She was like, she didn't even tell me that's the reason. All she said was, the motion filed was duplicative, and as a result, the motion is dismissed. Like, literally, that's all she said. But when I actually, dug deeper, I realized, that she was right, and it was just my lack of awareness that got to me. So, what else is important, my friends? I'm trying to think if I covered anything. Everything that I covered. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be as good as the first video, but I covered some of the important elements that I wanted to. Like I said, if there's anything that I missed, if there's whatever topic you guys want me to talk about, because everybody's experience is different. I don't know, like, how crazy your chick is, or, you know, how bad the system wants to come after you. So everybody's scenario is different, but whatever that's general and common that you guys, whatever topic you guys want me to get deep into, put it down below in the comments, or send me an email, a private email, and I'll make a video on it. And like I said, you know, I'm going to show you all my receipts, my paperwork, all that stuff, but it's going to be in due time. Like, right now I'm currently building my office, so that's why I'm shooting this video in my car. But once I get everything set up, I'm going to be way more detailed, way more organized. I'll show you guys paperwork, receipts. I'm going to invite some guests. And if fathers really, like, need help, I'm going to put it all out there, man. I got all the paperwork, all the documents, you know. And from dealing with them for so long, it's like this. It's the same thing over and over again. So they can only fool me for so long, right? I mean, at some point, you're going to figure out what's going on. So, yeah, like, I'll say, like, the craziest thing that people don't know is there's a whole, like, esoteric element to this that, you know, if you're not knowledgeable, you're never gonna win, because they're just aware of things that's beyond, you know, your bandwidth. And if like, it's just awareness, you know, because you gotta think, they have absolutely no right to do any of the things that they're doing. Zero jurisdiction. All this bullshit, it's all just smoke and screen. They have absolutely no authority to take your kid, none of that shit. But what they are extremely good at is that they're better than Hollywood actors. Like, I'm serious. They are more advanced, because just think about, like, a really good actor, but with a diabolical brain. You know, that's how good judges are, plus experience of screwing people. So that's what makes them lethal, because first of all, they're acting, and they are extremely good at acting, because the whole thing is a show. It's an act, you know what I'm saying? Everything they're doing is an act, like, from the way they dress and the whole procedure, how they sit and talk, like, even the words that they use. The whole thing is a play. It's a stage show. But and then to couple that with how intelligent they are, plus, you know, their experience, that makes them super diabolical. You know what I'm saying? Like, dangerous for you and your kid's life. Like, you want to get the hell away from them. You want to lean on the private side, and you got to hold them liable for whatever that they do, because they're so diabolical that, you know, when they rip your child from your life and destroy your life, they're doing all that with your own consent. So there is no karma. Some people think, like, you know, how can they get away with this? Because you agreed to it. They're so intelligent that they'll get you to agree to soldering yourself. That's how good they are, literally. And that's how they sleep at night every single day, you know, with zero guilt, you know, with zero guilt. They're gonna, and snore and drool, like, with zero fucks given about you or your kid. Like, I'm telling you, like, you're just a number to them. You don't even exist to them. Literally, you don't exist. You're just a fiction to them. And when they rip your child from you, it's like they don't care, because you agreed to it. So you should be the one blaming yourself. You know what I'm saying? Even, like, 30, 40 years, like, when you finally realize, like, wait, you know, it was all you agreed that for all this shit to happen, they're karma free. You know what I'm saying? Until they meet somebody like me, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately for you guys, I'm initiated too, so can't play none of those tricks with me, guys. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I'm telling you, man, this child custody, family court, man, it's not a game, man. I'm telling you, it's not a game. They bring it, man. They bring it. Like, every single day they bring it, man. I just wonder, like, gosh, how does these judges have the motivation to screw this many people every single day? But then when you look at, the bonds, that's, how much the bond is generating, and when they're trading all these in the stock market, then you understand why they're motivated, because you're making them millions from your ignorance, You keep signing up with a lawyer, man, and you're just gonna be a tradable. You and your child are gonna be just tradable commodities in the stock market, and you're gonna be financing their retirement funds, financing their kids, future, while you're over here, getting your life and your kids' life destroyed. You know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna realize, like, this thing is for real. It's not a game, man. So anyway, I said enough for this video. I'm gonna be making a tons more video, like I said, to help single fathers. I got the website is rightsoffathers.com. Right now it just has basic information. I haven't had a lot of time to like put a lot of stuff in it, but eventually I want to upload a lot of documents so you guys can see how to properly file file documents, and how to properly draft documents, and recognizing public versus private, how to act on the private side, and ways to secure your rights, and ways to how to maneuver when they throw you curveballs. So look out for that. All right, until next time.